How you doing, everybody? And welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and play some... Once again, we are back. We are going to be putting up more episodes now. We had our winter break, and it was nice, and I feel refreshed. I don't know about everyone else, but I feel refreshed, and, you know, that's all that really matters in the long run. Everyone has had some good time to relax, and we're ready to just jump back into things, get started, have a good time. This week's Dicey Spotlight is going to be about a little game called Keep the Lantern Lit. It's a little thing I found on itch.io. It is $3 currently, but you can, of course, purchase it for more because it's on itch.io, and that's just how they work. It's a little hard to describe. It has horror themes, and it is a game specifically for 3 people, and it uses a lot of psychological elements, and so they actually specifically mention that you might want to use safety tools just so nobody has a bad time inadvertently. Anyway, it's a really cool game. It is created by @the_nerdy_niffler. Niffler is spelled Niffler, who is the lesbian Leviathan on Twitter. If you follow her, you should totally go check her out. She's got some really cool stuff. Once again, the game is called Keep the Lantern Lit. You can find it on itch.io, and it's only $3. So, without further ado, let us jump into today's episode of Dicey Decisions. Alright, so, last we left our story, you all had come to investigate the mines, you did your best to interrogate the now all runaway 3 survivors of the mine attack that had happened, and the subsequent also attack of the Peter, what are you doing?
The Peter, what are you doing?
What are you... Just climb! Just get up there!
Just climb!
Stop thinking about it! Just get up there! Oh my god! He's just...
There
we
go!
go!
A baby.
Alright. Oh my god. That was a disaster to watch. Where was I?
Give me a bag of cheese ravioli.
The ice pack was thawed, so I gave you that until it cools down. You were suddenly set upon by a zombie, and then you disintegrated the zombie.
What is
Immediately.
And so now you stand in the middle of this crossroads, all of you kind of just looking around, trying to decide what to do. The rest of the mine stretches out in darkness before you. What are you doing?
That's
Bring
hanging Helga.
Aw, hug, hug. Little friend.
No, retreat.
Okay, so it says he needs to retreat.
Okay, so let's go with our original plan and go camp outside, or at least camp a little bit away from the mine shaft itself, and we'll take turns taking watch over the night and see if we can maybe get a little bit of rest before we continue in.
The nods in agreement.
Does that sound good?
So it's nodding.
Is it night?
You look outside, and it is indeed, the sun has gone down. There's the tiniest bit of blue in the sky, but since you're kind of in a hole in the ground, it's completely in shadow. You can just see the evening star peeking out, a sight that you're very
Just a
familiar
star.
with, Helga.
The star! Can I see the moon?
Okay. So now would be a great time to...
Mhm. At least short rest. At least.
At least
Need new
short.
spells.
I think that we should try and sleep for the night.
Commune with
There's
Fana.
there's only one place where something can come from, and we'll keep our eyes on it and wake everyone up. And I personally took one hit back there and got my ass kicked, so I'd like to rest a little bit.
You need healing.
Ah.
Katrina. Healing.
I think that I'd rather just rest over the night and save your spells.
Okay.
If we take a
That's
long
okay?
rest, then he'll recover his spells.
Let's
If
nods
we're going,
again and
if we're going to rest anyway, then
Stay rusty.
okay. Shifts?
Mike, I sent you an important question on your text message.
I am responding.
Text. Okay,
got their
okay.
ass the most kicked.
Mm.
Their ass the most kicked and needs to be sleeping, and who is doing the best and can take first watch.
Oh, I could take first.
I need to rest.
Okay,
I will take first.
Helga, if something comes out, scream.
I mean, like this.
So it covers his ears.
Like that.
He's not hugging you anymore.
And maybe
Oh, yeah,
don't yell
I
because
assumed
those
I-
things are definitely attracted to sound. Maybe don't yell unless that there's fucking shit. God damn.
Okay, leave,
Mother-
leave.
Pitbull, ass and dicks. And I summon my sword. Running. Is something running down the way?
Would go ahead and roll a perception check with disadvantage.
You dark motherfucker.
Yes.
Eventually, this will load and I'll be able to see it.
Kid, go ahead and roll a percentile die. So the D100 and the D10, and tell me what you get.
My perception was an 18.
An 18.
I'm gonna
All right.
use my dice because I don't feel like typing shit in.
Yeah, go for it. With an 18, you say. With an 18, you get. That's pretty high. As you stand there before the door, you're kind of just waiting, and kind of just wondering what's going to happen. Not door, but like the darkness. You can just barely see beyond from the. There's a slight flickering, fiery glow from your sword whenever you summon it. And in that little bit of light, you just barely can see the mine shaft doesn't go straight. It kind of branches out to either side, and you can just barely hear shuffling and scraping, but it's
Got a
pretty far
55,
away.
by the way.
You got a what? You got a what?
55.
25?
55.
55. All right, cool. Actually, I'll say with an 18, that would be high enough. It doesn't seem to sound like it's getting any closer. You do hear shuffling and scraping. So what are you all doing?
If it's not coming closer, I'm gonna.
We should sneak away.
I'm
Sneak away.
gonna. Let's get out of this little area and get kind of in some. Find a corner with somewhat shelter. That way, we can kind of lean up against it. I'm
So wait,
going to
we're
lay my
s-
sword
we're
next to me.
Mm.
And
We're
I'm.
still underground, though. I thought
Do
we
you
were
want to
above
stay in the
ground.
mine, or do you want to go out?
Thought we were above ground.
We're still in the mine, aren't we?
Yeah, you're in the mine. You're underground. Yeah.
You said you could see a star.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, you asked if it was nighttime, so I assumed you, like, kind of walked a little bit further back out, because you're only, like, just in the
Oh.
mine.
Yeah.
Mine's dangerous. We should leave.
Okay, we
should
can
go
go
out.
outside to sleep.
I would
Camp.
much rather go outside.
Camp in safety.
So we'll go set up outside. I'll put my sword next to me, but have my bow out, because I kind of don't want to get close to these creatures.
So where are you setting up? I'm sorry.
Just outside the entrance, where we'd see if anything was trying to come out.
All right, there's quite a few vantage points with which to see. If you're gonna be like right up on the entrance, like over here on the right, as you like come out of the mine, you know, of course it opens up to either side, so you can just kind of sit up against maybe those boxes there. You of course check them first, being a little paranoid.
Rightfully so.
Could we be on like one of the high parts where the
The deer and the
Sure.
buffalo range.
yeah, because I feel like that's safer.
Yeah, you can up on the
Where the
left
ice people
where
were?
the
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
way up in the back where the ice people are, where you wouldn't be able to see the entranceway, but there is a
Yeah, I want to be able to see the entrance. I don't want these things getting out to anyone.
there is a 10-foot ledge just off to the side where the fire people were before they were obliterated by Katrina and Oran. So yeah, if you just kind of set yourself up against the wall, you can have a pretty good look at the entry of the mine and still, you know, not have anything crawl up to you anytime soon. It takes a little bit of climbing to get up, but you're able to do that with some time. Peter! He
Peter.
just jumped onto Carly's bad arm. Bad boy. That's
Oh,
not good.
pumpkin.
Don't hurt
Pumpkin eater.
the Carly.
All right, so you are
Just-
all going to settle down for a long rest.
Ugh.
On
Set up a
rest
nice fire.
time.
Get some ash on me.
Oh my god.
Settle in for a nice long rest and dream of my fiery goddess.
And we prepare to take the first watch.
And try to get some proper spells in.
Who's coming after me?
I can go second.
Okay.
Like, Soot being resident baby child probably took the most damage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I healed up, but... Oh, okay, tell me
Also
how...
need your spell slots.
Yeah,
Need
I
lots
really do
of
need my
slots.
spell slots. That's what I really
it's
need to
Slots
focus
on
on.
slot.
If we get interrupted towards the end of it, at least you'll have healed up some.
That's...
I mean, you don't get the benefits of a long rest unless you've taken the whole long rest.
Yeah.
There's no partial healing.
Oh,
Well, no, at the very least, if for a short rest, I would at least get my channel divinity back.
You would, because you get that per
Oh,
short
I would
rest.
at least get that benefit.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have to. Is it like a full 8 hours? I feel like if you do like 7 hours, that we should at least get something.
It accounts for watch and everything.
Yeah, the 8 hours
Yeah,
accounts
true.
for a watch. So if everyone went to sleep, if everyone slept and nobody took watch, then it would only be 7 hours,
Hmm.
give or take. So,
That would mean there'd have to be 7 watches, though. 7 people to watch so that everyone could watch 1 hour.
we kind of yada yada that. Basically,
Okay.
everyone has to take watch.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Watch time. I
do
go.
you want me to
I
narrate
do.
7 watches?
Oh no.
I'll fucking do
Yes.
it. All right, cool. So Helga's taking the first of 7 watches. So,
Are there 7 Are there 7 of us?
No.
And Oran is still here. Oran is still here. Even though he hasn't spoken in
Yeah, you look over and he has
Back
red
around
skin, but
with
he looks
you.
almost pink. He is so pale.
Oh
Just having-
no.
Rough time.
Poor Oran.
Flick some.
Okay, yeah.
fresh at
He
him.
should definitely
Eh.
sleep.
Yeah, Soot flicks Oran and he nearly jumps out of his skin. He's so
Shit.
terrified.
Not gonna let you get hurt, Oran. We promised Gerg.
Nothing's gonna
not
harm you.
He's not even looking at you. He doesn't even seem to respond to anything you say. He's just staring at the ground.
God, he's a zombie.
Okay, and with that, he actually gives you a look. Just like, what the fuck?
So it's just like, all will be well.
Wait,
If
he's not a
we
zombie?
work together, all will be well.
No, he's not a zombie.
Together.
He looked very off.
Together.
He's
Us
like,
together.
it's like Squidward having war flashbacks.
Oh shit. That sucks.
So anyway, you all sit down for your long rest. I'm going to need Helga to roll a perception check while you're on watch. Well, anyway, while Helga is determining whether or not she can see things, Katrina, Oran, and Soot kind of settle in. Y'all get comfortable, and you just sorry, excuse me. You take a moment to try to calm yourselves down, knowing what or not knowing what may or may not be in the darkness out there in the mines. Just a lot of that kind of makes it difficult for you to relax, but eventually you do find yourself, maybe just from sheer exhaustion, falling asleep. And Katrina, you are probably the last person to fall asleep, and you do see that Oran is just sitting up against the stone wall, just not even moving. Just he seems to be just completely lost in himself, and he's breathing. He's not a zombie, but he's glassy eyed, and
Oh,
I put
seems
a
to be
welcome
thinking.
back.
I'm back.
I put a hand shoulder and kind of just like give him an imploring look, like, "You okay, buddy?"
and
Say it, but I just kind of give him that look, like.
he shakes his head and gives you a look like, "No, I most certainly am not."
I just like scoot myself
Did
so
I
I
miss
can like lean
something? I
against
cut
him.
out for a minute there.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute. It's okay. We were just doing some role play while we waited.
Fuck, now I missed that. That seems really important.
It's fine. I was just talking shit about Helga.
Oh!
I was just describing everyone eventually falling asleep and like alluding to how the dangers in the darkness. Ooh, spooky. But you have Helga there watching for you. And Oran's just not looking too good, and Katrina just kind of scooched up to get all cozy. Get all cozy, give him some body heat, because he's so skinny. It's probably cold.
Cold boy.
I got a whole fuck ton
Alright.
of muscles, so I'm probably.
I'm gonna sit up straight for watch so as to just stay awake.
What'd you end up getting on your perception check?
9.
9? All
That
right.
must have been when I cut out. I kept saying, I got a 9. Hey, I got a 9. And no one said anything. And I was confused.
Yeah, you were just not there. Yeah, you were like straight up disconnected. Yeah, so, of course you see the moon arc across the sky.
Moon.
It's kind of, it has a slight golden hue to it because, it's nearly full. And it's, of course, behind the rings of the planet known as the Sky River. So it has this nice golden white glow, almost like the light that Soot produces when he casts his magic. Actually, you find yourself thinking about that as the area you're in is bathed with just a very, very soft light as the moon passes overhead. And at the end of your hour, or however long it is, you don't really keep time, but as soon as the moon has been in the sky for quite a while, you kind of stretch a bit and go over to Katrina, who is snoring against Oran's shoulder. Oran is actually not sleeping. He looks up at you as you approach, and then he gives Katrina a little shake.
That's right,
I'm
elves
awake.
don't sleep. Katrina, it is your time for watch.
I'm sorry, out of character. Are you calling her Trina, or are
Oh,
you?
okay.
Am I just not
I
catching
just thought it
the
was
cat?
taking a while to wake you up.
No, you're good. Are you calling her Trina, or am I just missing the cat Trina?
I was calling her Katrina and then Cat.
Okay, just making
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Tis an important distinction.
Okay, so she gets up. She kind of gets up and she gives Oran just like a pat on the shoulder, and just kind of, she doesn't really say anything. She just goes and stands her post. A perception check.
Go ahead, Helga. You
Hey.
Helga.
That would be a natural 1.
A natural 1. Lovely. I will
Ooh.
get to that in just a sec.
Sit down next to Oran. Kind of put an arm around him. Hey. Hey, buddy. Good old pal. I just try to, like, comfort him without trying to force him to talk or anything.
Go ahead.
Bad at this.
Go ahead and roll a general charisma check, Helga.
Hey. Hooray, it's a 14.
Rolling for depression. Oh, wow. He kind of puts his head, he kind of leans his head over onto your shoulder as you kind of put your arm around him, but he doesn't say anything. He's very tense. Or he's really skinny, you can't tell.
Fucking skinny.
He's very bony.
Funny boy.
So Katrina, with that natural, and you kind of rest there for a bit and eventually fall
Yep.
asleep, snoring on his, kind of lean on him a bit. You hear a slight collapsing of material, Katrina, as you're sitting up, and you look over, and Helga is putting almost her entire weight on Oran as she's sleeping.
I would like put my arm around him and he doesn't say anything. I'm not just gonna like lean on him. He's tiny.
You fell asleep.
What?
I'm saying when you fell asleep, that's what happened.
No, I'm saying I would reposition myself before falling asleep so that I would not crush him.
He takes 5 points of crushing damage. It's fine.
No. No, I'm saying I would like put my arm around him to comfort him for a while and then be like, well, time to go to sleep.
All right. Well, next time, say that.
Oh, you know what? I thought you were talking to Carly.
You know, there's a thing called yes and we haven't been doing that tonight, guys. Yeah. So as you fall asleep, Helga, you find yourself just watching the moon pass across, just kind of counting the minutes until suddenly you're asleep, and you don't know exactly when. Katrina, you on your watch, you kind of find yourself nodding off actually with that natural one. And as you feel your eyes close and you're like, maybe just a couple of minutes, I'll rest my eyes, you feel a hand on your shoulder. And it's Oran. And he's kind of still got that far off look in his eyes, but he's looking at you. And he just mutters, go ahead and lay down. I'm not really gonna sleep. I'm fine.
He's an elf. Elves
Are you sure you're going to be okay?
I'll maybe fall asleep later. I'll be fine.
You won't, because you're an elf.
Well, elves still need to rest.
Trance.
I know it's weird and scary and worrying, just that someone you're close to is involving themselves in something like this.
That's not quite it, but thank you.
And then I'm gonna go to sleep.
All right. So, more time passes, and eventually, Soot, you feel yourself gently shaken, ever so gently awake. Very, very parental manner. You get a little shoulder shake, little pat on your shoulder. You open your eyes and it's Oran, and he's kind of just looking at you, very soft. He has a much softer look in his eyes than he actually has ever since you've met him.
My turn?
Yeah, it's just go ahead and watch the entrance, and you know what you're doing. I'm gonna try and get some shut-eye, but if anything happens, just give us a call, right? I'll probably be very lightly asleep.
As well.
Oh, yeah. And he kind of goes and sits down. And
You guys hear wheezing. Carrie has respiratory issues and she's like got her face in my face.
Oh, baby.
it's really cute.
I thought you were gonna say that like cat has
Cat has respiratory issues.
Cat's choking.
Cat's
She's
just
not
choking on her
choking.
tongue.
She's just got sniffles and she's rubbing against my microphone. Carrie.
He's doing good.
Yeah, but oh my god, Carrie. So as you are kind of sitting there, Oren, kind of leaned up against the wall. You can hear the concussive sounds of Helga snoring. And a much lighter breathing from Katrina, although still kind of like Katrina breathes, but it's kind of a snort every now and again.
I have returned.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
We're in Soot's watch now, just about to finish up.
You can do it, baby. I believe in you.
So you're kind of sitting there and you hear a quiet voice off to the side. So, I'm sorry that I misjudged you. You're a very interesting individual, and I've learned to be kind of wary of interesting people. So I'm sorry.
is good. What is... Soot turns around to look at Oren and recites back to him the day at the bar. At the tavern, rather. Well, what he said about the fanatic.
With
Zealot.
calling
Zealot.
when he was like, I don't trust this kid, all that stuff.
All that. And, like, looks at him. He's like, by that, what do you mean?
You are very... Oh, Carrie.
Sorry,
You're
I moved
very
my microphone away from my face.
That was terrifying.
You grrr.
This is Soot, like, growling.
Carrie, it's very sweet, and Carrie is my cat, if you guys don't know. She's very sweet, and she loves me very much, but she doesn't understand microphones.
Yeah,
So-
that is her one fault.
So Oren takes a moment, thinks to himself, and something in his eyes changes a bit. Something a little harder, a little weary, a little older, and you realize you remember again. You know, you've heard stories about how long elves can live, and he says, when I was younger, I was a soldier. And a lot of things happen in war. War never changes.
Fuck.
Mike!
Sorry.
War never changes.
The joke was there, y'all.
In 1907.
I fought for people. I fought with people, and I fought a lot of people that believed a lot of the things that you do. That their god was the only god worth spending any time on. That their god was going to save them. That their god was the best deity of all the others that any other culture believes in. And I'll admit I was wary. I've never seen anyone or anything like you before, but I've heard a lot of the words that you speak, and they make me nervous. I've met a lot of people who believe that their religion is the true path to enlightenment, and whether or not yours isn't really my business. But I've been traveling with these people for a bit, and I didn't want to see them get hurt. And now, hearing rumors of strange cults popping up everywhere, it's starting to sound all too familiar. And it's been... how long now? Then he gets quiet. Anyway, I was wrong about you. You have a good heart. You're a very special person. You clearly have someone up there looking out for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that. And he points at your prayer wheel. So whatever it is that you believe in, I just hope that it believes in us too. And he kind of just waits for a response.
So
Shit reading.
with his no. I'm not gonna end this. I'm not gonna end this like heartfelt moment with like
Shit reading.
No. He contemplatively looks down at his prayer wheel, at his holy symbol glittering on his wrist, and reaches out to Oren, scoots over and reaches out to Oren. I apologize too. Bygones be bygones.
Aw. Who taught him that one?
Friends.
Friends.
Sounds good to me. Thank you. I think actually I'm going to be able to sleep now.
And what it's worth, Anna protects me. But I protect you. Fana has taught me. Okay?
Okay. And he kind of settles back, leans against the wall, and... You seem like you
Thanks.
really... It feels like you really kind of lifted a little bit of a weight off of him.
It feels so good about himself. And he throws more soot, soot on his sleeping Orin.
All right, yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check, Soot, for the rest of your watch.
It's gonna be so funny if this is a bad roll. Spoke really too soon. That's a 6. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see if I have.
You probably have...
Nope. Yeah, it's a 6.
Oh, great. Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I'm going to roll a percentile die for a thing. Because I'm honestly not sure what I want to happen. Let's say that. All right. So Soot, you're kind of just looking out in the dark, and you know, after a bit, you realize, I can't see in the dark. The moon has already passed beyond what's visible from, you know, being in this dugout, crater almost, and yeah, it's kind of dark in here, and all you can hear is the wind, some light rocks falling here and there. You can still smell the burning from the creatures that were out here. You can kind of hear the pop of the ice melting. Because it's a warmer night than it's been. You can definitely feel spring really starting to come on, but yeah, it's dark out here, and you can't see shit. But eventually, you know, you switch off, and the rest of the night goes on without incident. Everybody can bring their hit points back to maximum now. As the early morning light, as the sky just barely starts to turn blue, we will say probably Oran is the one who's up. So, you're all awoken by Oran at first light. And kind of checks up on all of you. Helga, you wake up really sore. You feel like your whole body has just like pins and needles in it, and let me see. What's everyone's passive perception?
Mine is 14.
14, and Katrina's is
It's 15, but give me a moment. Yeah, 15.
Okay, Katrina, you notice that there's a streak of white in Helga's hair, as if like it's the same color as when she rages. She's got some highlights, you know.
Helga? Does your family have a history of premature graying?
You could say that.
I'm gonna look around and make sure nothing snuck out of the cave while we were sleeping.
Roll a survival check.
Although I feel like we wouldn't be alive, but...
If anyone else wants to check, they can also roll.
Do you
Or
also
give
want to do
Katrina
a
advantage.
check? Just be responsible.
Are you going to check or give Katrina advantage? Are you going
Me?
to check or give Katrina advantage?
Trina.
I rolled nat 20.
Oh, well. So you're kind of looking around, Katrina, just like double checking everything, and Soot just like goes and like points at like what looks like just a bunch of dust that has collected, or like ash. It's probably some of the stuff that you tracked out after you zapped that zombie. And you can see Helga tracks, you can see Katrina tracks, you can see Oran tracks, which are very, very light, and you can see Soot tracks, and nothing else. And Soot's like pointing at it, just like, yep, we're good.
It's like
Hi,
holding
Soot.
up 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
It's like, yeah.
2 feathered thumbs.
2
Feathered
feathers up.
thumbs, like, yeah.
I give that 2 feathers up.
Radical.
Oh god, it's Chad Achilles.
We ever play a one-shot, I'm
Achilles.
bringing him back.
Oh god, please, I beg of you. That guy was such a great character.
God.
Floating at the ocean.
Oh god. For any of you who don't, any of you listening, if you don't know who Chad Achilles is, it was a character that Tiffany made who was a druid, right? Like an ocean
Yes,
druid.
yeah, basically.
Except he can't fucking swim. And he can't turn into
And
anything
he's
that
a
can swim.
surfer dude.
The server dude, stupid as all hell. I love him so much.
He yodels at the ocean.
God, he's so dumb. I love him so much.
Oh god. Okay. So yes, you're all heading into the mine.
We're heading back into the mine.
All right, you
Heading
get
into the mines.
you squeeze single file past the mine cart that's kind of stuck on the tracks. You get into that kind of vestibule area. There's still that pile of stinky, smelly, rotten-smelling dust where the Zambo was. And yeah, there's the darkness of the thing beyond you. I assume Soot has cast light again.
Slap my bracelet. Light.
It's a slap bracelet.
Not my
All
wrist
right.
again.
So as you what's marching order? Who's going first?
I suppose Soot, since Soot has the light, and I'll go very close behind Soot, since he is squishy.
All right, so we got the short
yeah.
stacks.
Put Oran between me and Helga, because he's also kind of squishy.
All right. So as you prepare to step forward, Oren kind of claps you on the shoulder very gently and kind of mutters, "Thank you again for our talk last night. I got exactly the amount of rest I needed, and you are inspired.
Oh, yay.
Aww.
For the next minute, you can add a D8 to any single roll."
Oh, hell yeah! I figure out where my fucking D8s are.
All right, so as you move forward, there is another cave-in directly ahead of you. It appears that they dug out this entire underground area. This looks like the part that, is definitely far different from the open, from the open strip mine out beyond where you had your initial fight. This appears to be more of a like a grid pattern, almost like they were searching specifically for a type of material. Who'd have thunk? But yeah, it appears like it was maybe painted in a grid, the way this was designed. And from the map that you have, there are, it appears to just go forward maybe about, like, I don't know, 40 or 50 feet, but it appears that there's been a number of cave-ins. And so these sections are maybe blocked off, and so you can either go left or right, and you can't really see much further other than that.
Left or right?
I'm going to kind of take a step into one direction and see if I can hear anything and do the same to the other.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. If you're just hearing, it's not with disadvantage.
Direction is in 11. Second direction is
I keep forgetting to unmute myself. I'm sorry.
second direction is a 14.
All right. Well, what was the first direction?
11.
What direction was it?
Right was the 11. Left was the 14. Just trying to see if I can hear any noises, any Zambo noises.
You don't hear any. Yeah, you don't hear anything. You hear a slight, bit of wind, but that's about it.
Mm.
I'm going to defer to you on this one. You tend to have a pretty good sense of direction. Pretend I said that in a British accent.
so it looks left, looks right, sees that his bracelet's on his left hand, goes left.
And so
Fairly on brand.
you go left. All right, and you move ahead for another 20 feet, and you reveal another 20 feet of the pathway, which does branch off to the left and right again. As you approach, the left path is blocked off with another cave in. Your only option is to go to the right.
And as we're walking, I'm going to be taking the piece of charcoal that's in my my bag and just try and mark on somewhere, make some sort of marking on where the stone is lighter so I can see which directions we've taken.
It's very smart for cave diving, so good stuff.
I'm singing the dwarf song. Hi ho, hi ho.
Sort of singing this very strange song.
That's totally not copyright.
Yeah, totally not. All right, so the four of you
Are you awake, dear?
keep moving down
Yeah.
down the way, and the tunnel here gets narrow. It appears like this was maybe dug out specifically for maybe air or something, but it's getting pretty narrow here. You can just barely move in single file here. But you do come to a crossroads that continues forward and goes to the right. So you've kind of come in at one of the parts of a T intersection.
So it picks up a rock and throws it down the way to where it branches off to the right of them. Nothing's down there. This thing say go straight.
Yeah, she was saying go straight. So, I'll do my best to narrate this. You continue forward. The path winds a bit. The map that you have is now completely useless. This was clearly a lot of new tunnels that they've dug now, until you almost stumble over minecart tracks, and they seem to go from right to left. They appear to have been maybe buried in part of, I don't know, maybe this battle caused a bit of a whatchamacallit, some sort of cave-in. Yeah, the minecart tracks do lead potentially into more open space, actually, as you come forward. And to your left, you do kind of hear, I don't know, it's kind of like knowing there's an open space beyond without actually being able to see or hear it. It just feels more open beyond that.
And your ears react to the pressure change.
Yeah. That thing. That thing that I knew about. Totally. So do you step forward?
It just keeps rushing forward.
All right, yeah, so you turn down that way.
And of course, I'm marking everything.
Yeah, you're marking as you go. It's been a pretty winding path, but for more or less, it's straight. So you come forward.
Following down the tracks.
Yeah, so you've come forward to the tracks, and Soot, I need you to make a... Well, no, because you have your light. So the tracks end, and then suddenly there is empty space in front of you. It's just drop off.
Oh, great.
And your light just barely seems to be glinting off some rocks down at the bottom. It appears like it's 20 feet down, so your light is just barely reaching there. But it's out in the space. It's just darkness out. And as you all kind of file out onto this space, keeping quiet, you, of course, Soot, because you're Soot, you almost run into a ladder. Let me see.
Almost.
That
I
is...
do.
Almost you do. You run into the ladder. All right, it makes a pretty loud clattering sound.
Oh,
There,
Fuck.
there it goes. Good job.
Sorry.
I mean, it's action for us.
As you step out, following this track that seems to maybe have gone straight through, but because of the cave-ins, you had to kind of widen around it. As you finally reach the end of this minecart track, you find a chasm opened up. Looks like a naturally formed cave that they just ended up digging into. Who knows how old it is, but the ledge goes down about 20 feet, and you can just barely see the light of Soot's spell kind of glinting off, maybe some small stalagmites, stalactites hanging from the ceiling. This cavern is very irregularly shaped, so you can't really see all the corners of it. You don't know how far back it goes, but because the light just goes off into darkness. But Soot kind of bonks into a ladder that's just, leaning up against the wall, and it makes this horrible clattering sound. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, Soot, to just go ahead and do that.
Let's see. Okay, gonna add that. D8. That's a 10.
With the D8?
It rolled a 1, Mike.
Wait, you rolled a natural 1?
On the
Oh, I
D8 or
rolled
on your...
The D8 rolled a 1.
Okay. Oh, what a waste of inspiration. Well, 10 is what you needed, so...
Oh, sweet.
So, because, you kind of elected to bonk into it, so I'm not gonna,
Okay.
horribly punish you for that. But,
Okay.
yeah, so you see Soot bump into this thing, and it starts to tip, and he just, grabs it, and slowly rights it. And everything is quiet.
Sorry.
However, with the frantic movements, Soot, your light does dance off of the ceiling, and you can just see some multicolored glinting in the ceiling, and off in some corners, and you look around, and you can actually see this whole room kind of sparkles with just a little bit of light. This is definitely maybe as far as they got. Maybe they got a little further, but this is definitely still parts that they were still mining through. It appears that the alexite is running in veins in this, or growing, because it's a crystal, is growing in this cavern in very small amounts. It seems like they maybe broke some stuff off. But what really does stick out to you, Soot, is as you look out into the darkness, some of the glints don't really change color.
Oh.
They're purple.
They're
hanging off the ceiling like bats.
They're on towards the floor, and what you thought were stalagmites are slowly shuffling towards you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 shuffling figures moving towards you as they open their mouths to... And that's where we're going to end our episode.
Fuck.
Fucking Zambos.
Oop,
All right.
oop,
Well,
this is gonna suck. Oop. Oop.
so thank you all so much for being here. That's going to be our episode tonight. Whether you are watching this on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast, thank you so much for being here. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please be sure to leave us a review because it super duper helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, punch that like button right in the nards, and just let us know about your favorite part and your predictions for the next episode, because I love hearing about what everyone wants or expects is going to happen in this story. We can be found once again on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iTunes under, we're apparently the only podcast called Dicey Decisions, for now at least, so, find us while you can. Once again, our Dicey Spotlight, you should definitely go check out once you finish listening to my dulcet tones, is Keep the Lantern Lit on Itch.io. It is only $3, and it is super, super cool and creepy game. So if you like spooky games, get a couple of friends together. It's a game for 3 players. Go ahead and play it. Turn out all the lights. Have a good time. Thank you all so much for being here. Please, be safe, share some love, and tell a story. Good night.